There's so many great themes in the game. And these in-depth looks that I do of the characters have really like opened my eyes to some of the character themes as well that I never thought of. For example, I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek at the in-depth look at Barret. One thing I had never thought about until, like, maybe it was in the back of my head, but I never really like brought it forward to really think about it. And this might be obvious to some of you, but for me, I never really thought about it. The theme of Barret being friends with Cloud is like a huge theme that's carried through the entire game. And I never really looked at it that way. I looked at it as just like that's part of his character. But it's actually a huge theme that's like super important. I guess not important, but super relevant in the plot throughout the entire game. He starts off hating Cloud because he's a soldier guy and he doesn't trust him. And then it slowly builds up. He slowly gets more and more comfortable with him, and then at one point starts to actually idolize him to the point where he can actually be a date. Like, he idolizes Cloud so much that he even can become a date at the Gold Saucer because he looks up to him and, you know, as a friend and someone that's going to help him save the world. And then it reaches like this pinnacle point where Cloud goes crazy the first time and gives Sephiroth the black materia. And then a lot of people missed this. I missed it. But Barret becomes legitimately a rock for Cloud. When Cloud goes crazy the first time, read the text that Barret says. It's crazy. He literally says, like, I'm here for you. If you go crazy again, I'll be the one to knock you out of it. You got to keep going. People don't just quit because of one bad thing that happens. Like, he becomes the one driving force that keeps Cloud going. Like, you would think it'd be Eris or Tifa, but no, it's Barret. Barret says way more to Cloud than Tifa or Eris say. Like, he is the rock that keeps Cloud going. And then it keeps building up to the crater, where Barret is one of the choices that you can pick to give the black materia. Once again, showing that Cloud also trusts Barret. Then Cloud leaves, and Barret goes down. So, like, if you kind of look at the entire game as Barret going up and up and up in terms of being, you know, brothers with Cloud. When Cloud disappears, it dips, and Barret loses like all of that he gained over the game. He loses all of his faith in Cloud to the point where when they find him, Barret actually asks Tifa, and he has to be in the party, so a lot of people miss this, but if Barret's in the party, when you talk to Tifa, he asks her if that's the real Cloud. He says, are you sure that that's the Cloud you grew up with? And Tifa's like, yeah, of course it is. And then he's like, oh, sorry for asking. So, like, he's lost complete trust in Cloud. He doesn't know who he is. He's wondering if it's just Sephiroth in disguise. He loses 100% of his faith. Completely loses his faith in Cloud. It's when you first find Cloud, if Barret's in your party. There's this text interaction that happens with him and Tifa, and he's like, I don't know, I think Cloud might just be Sephiroth's shadow. And then Tifa says, I'm going to stay with him, and Barret goes, are you sure that's really your friend from the past? And Tifa's like, yes, of course it is. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry for asking. So it's like this really pinnacle moment. And then Cloud returns, and he says that I'm Cloud now, and Barret's like, there ain't no getting off this train. So then, like, it all comes back. So there's this great, like, build up, and then it dips, and then he comes back in the end. So, like, it's this really cool theme that you don't really think about much, you know, because Barret's kind of a side character, and if you don't use him, then you kind of just see his story, and then he's just nothing for the rest of the game. But there's this really cool interaction that's there.